Good everybody, welcome to part 5. And you join me in the middle of taking out the brake chambers and brake linkages. I need to do this so I can get to the chassis. And anyway, you've got to start somewhere, so I might as well start here. Left hand chamber's already gone, and I'm struggling with the linkage now. The little swivel pins just don't want to come out. Well, that's not a surprise. My previous restorations, they didn't either. But with a bit of juggling, you can take the whole thing out. Handbrake rod there comes off. Right hand chamber is ready to lift off, and that rod will come out still attached to the chamber. For the rest of the linkage, you can take the levers off the end of the brake S-cams. They come off much easier, and there's just a matter of two difficult bolts right in the middle that you need to remove, and they're tucked right behind these rear leaf springs. Not very nice to get to, but easy to come undone. Once you've unbolted them, the whole linkage can be juggled about and taken out in one piece. So here we are, two chambers, the right hand one still with its park brake rod, and the complete brake linkage in one piece. Now we'll separate that into its component parts a bit later on. In the meantime, let's have a look what's going on inside these hubs. Now all that oil leaking out of there says to me the hub seal's leaking, and I'm going to find a completely oily mess inside when I take this drum off. To get the drum off, you wind two jacking bolts in, and it pulls the drum away from the hub to begin with. Sometimes you can get it with your fingers, sometimes you need a crowbar, when I can find one. There we go. Hook the crowbar in behind the drum and just walk it off that last bit. Once it's free, then you can pick it up and pull it off by hand. They are quite heavy, so you have to be a bit careful how you're lifting it. And you'll notice when I take the weight off of it, the whole axle tips up as it does its swivelly thing. I'm sure that's going to catch me out at some point properly. Now let's get the camera and have a look inside this drum and see what we've got. And as expected, a sticky oily mess. That's going to want some sorting out. And as for the shoes, absolutely plastered. They'll probably live again, but they'll need a bit of cleaning up. Now then, this front hub, this needs some investigation. Bit of Sherlock Holmes time. What was it he said? Eliminate the possibilities and whatever's left must be the truth. Well, we've already eliminated the brake linkage because that's removed and it still doesn't want to turn. Brake drum's off then. It's a bit rusty inside and there's plenty of cobwebs around these shoes. Nothing untoward. And that hub still doesn't want to turn, so we haven't found the problem yet. Next up, hubcap off, drive shaft out. Now, this might be a clue. Someone's been here before. There should be a paper gasket in here and not this ½ pound of silicone sealant that's been squeezed out everywhere. What a mess. Still, half shaft's out. There's a bit of a positive here because the hub still doesn't want to turn. So that means there's nothing wrong with the diff. The problem's definitely inside this hub. And that means taking that big nut off. Now, when I did the timber tractor restoration, I couldn't afford a big enough socket to fit on that. So I invented one out of some bits of angle iron. And frankly, it works a darn sight better than a socket. I was supposed to video this so you could see it in action, but for some reason it didn't come out. So you'll have to wait until I do the offside to actually see that in action. So hub's off and it came off quite easily. And looking at that shaft, I can't see anything wrong with that. On the inside then, you've the packless gland or hub seal that goes at the back. Now that wasn't leaking, so that would suggest that's okay. And then there's the 4 spacing rings that hold the bearings apart. Now someone might have got them mixed up and got the wrong size, but I think that's highly unlikely. So really the answer's got to be in one of the 2 bearings. And if we have a look inside the hub, once we've wiped away the oil and grease, it all becomes apparent. All that damage and corrosion in the outer race tells you a great deal, and there's all sorts of bits of the tapered rollers floating about in the oil. I haven't looked at the back bearing yet, but I'm guessing it's no better than the front one. So we're going to need 2 new wheel bearings here, and I bet they're not cheap. On to the offside then. Front hub's all ready to go, drum's off, spanners bolted on. Make sure the camera's rolling this time, and we're ready to start. Where's my hammer? There you go. Take aim, 2 or 3 careful swipes and off she comes. Easy, isn't it? No problem. Wind it round a couple of turns, take the spanner off, and away you go. Sorted. Hubs off, done. Now, there's always one, isn't there? There has to be, and that's it at the back there. That drum just does not want to move. I've hit it, I've beat it, I've soaked it in penetrating fluid, stripped the threads inside the jacking bolts, and it still doesn't want to go. And I'm sure there's going to be people all over the place watching this video now thinking, yeah, been there, done that. The only answer then, take the hub off and the drum together. Here we go with the big spanner again, and take it all off as one piece. I didn't think this nut was coming undone at first. I had several large thumps. I even stop and have a look to see if it is actually moving. But yes, it was, and after a few more hefty whacks, it just slid off quite nicely. Unwind it, no problem. The good thing this time, that axle's pointing downwards, so the whole thing's all trying to slide off already. Save the bearing there. Move my oil bucket so I don't tip it over. Quick wipe the hands. Make sure we're ready. Bit of heavy lifting. Well, I'm not lifting it really. I'm just dragging it to the floor. You're never going to pick that up on your own. Tip it up and we'll sort that out in a minute. Does that axle lift up? Yes, swivels quite nicely now, doesn't it? Have a look. Oh, hang on. Nearly missed them. Let's collect that lot up before I lose them. Spacing rings, yeah. Bearing, yeah. We'll just put all them together. Wrap a cable tie around them. That bearing looks half decent. We'll give it a proper look though when it's been cleaned up. Inside the hub itself, in the brake shoes, there's a bit more than spiders have been living in here. Judging by all that screwed up paper, I reckon there's been a mouse or something in there. I'm sorry mate, you're about to get made homeless. Now, get this drum off. Big hammer again, block of wood on the top so you don't damage anything, and give it a few swipes. It is moving, I think. Well, the block of wood is anyway. Hang on, let's try that again. Yeah, it's definitely going. It's stuck on the studs, so I'll give them a bit of a tap. I'll be careful though, not damage the threads. We'll straighten them up later if we need to. It is moving. There we go. Hub out. Right, we've moved on. Here we are, all the bearings, spacers and all the gubbins out of the inside of the hubs. They've all had a nice bath and a clean up, spray with their favourite cologne, and we're looking all good now, and we can have a proper look at what we've got. We'll start looking at that leaky hub seal. That's these bits at the front. They're called packless glands, and I thought I'd sussed it out because that's a different pattern to all the rest of them. It's a later type, a narrower sealing ring on it. But to be fair, it has got the proper ring underneath it, so there's no reason why that should be leaking. That's something we'll look at later. Now the spacer rings are all cleaned up, you can see the different graduations on them for the size markings. They're graded 1 to 4, only the smallest one has no marking at all, and the others have rings around them so you can count. So you've a 0 and a 2 there. There's a 2 and a 3 on this one. What we got on the back here? Oh, pair of 2s there, and so on. So when you put the hubs back on, you've got to make sure you get your spacers in the right order. But generally, if you keep them with the bearings that came out, they can all go back in one piece. Now, these knackered bearings. This is the front near side one, and we know that's had it. It wouldn't turn, would it? Now it's all cleaned up. You can see the corrosion and the damage on the rollers. Nearly everyone's got a problem there. The back hub, the one that was leaking, that's got a nice bearing in it, so that one's okay. This is the offside one. Again, it's that middle axle, and it's suffered much the same as the near side has. Various corrosion, bits chipped out the rollers, and again the back one, it looks a bit discoloured that, but there's a good rollers on it, and yeah, that'll live again. So it looks like we've just got to change the front ones, but that's 4 bearings I need, and I'm sure, as I said earlier, they ain't gonna be cheap. That said, that's all we seem to have done so far, stripping things out to be worked on later. I think it's about time I got on with some of this worked on later stuff. Anyway, thanks for watching so far, and if you're still enjoying these videos and you haven't ticked the like and subscribe box, yeah, get on and do it. It'll encourage me to do more of them and more work on Monty as well. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye for now. See you in part 6. Bye.